At last, a flying start to a season in this head coach save. It's taken 3 clubs and 5 seasons, but we are right up in the promotion mix. Today we face one of the relegated sides and one of the high flyers early doors. So let's go and see just how good we are and meet some more new additions to this brilliant squad. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 35 of the head coach with me, Daniel. We are back today with season 5 well underway and we are flying at the start of the season. We face relegated Worthing in the first of a double header with just 2 days after our previous game. We've also got a couple of signings to meet as the director of football continues to utilise the loan market. So if you're looking forward to all of that, seeing how we get on and whether we can sustain a promotion push this year, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's the first time I've gone into a season with real optimism and it's been proven right so far. So let's go and see if we can keep it up via the schedule and the transfer screens, because there are 2 new loan additions to the squad and a potential departure too. Archie Thomas continues to reject loan moves away, but David McNulty, who for those of you who don't remember, was the best of a bad bunch in last year's youth intake. He is now being offered a move away to Hampton and Richmond. We'll see if he chooses to take that or not. But in terms of the transfer history, big news in terms of the ins. 2 more loans, definitely a different type of market to last year, or working a lot earlier than he was last year, because Jack Deakin is the first of 2 players in. He comes from Mansfield on loan. He's a centre forward. He's a 2-star ability, 4-star potential striker. Little bit too much on the wage front for my liking. You saw the offer, I think, being made in the last episode, for someone with a lot of quality. So very excited to have him at the club. And he was joined, in fact, just yesterday, by Lewis Herbert of Port Vale. Given the fact we've had 2 games in 2 days, this is a big addition for us. He's a centre-half at 17 years of age. Already 3.5-star ability, 5-star potential, fairly professional personality and pretty good across the board. 6'5", massive in the air. I just feel like he's a proper first-team player. And I'm looking at him compared to Cocoraccio, and I don't think I can make a case for the latter being in the team. I know he's a little short on positioning, which is my favourite part of the game, but we could go sort of stopper and cover, another good centre-half into the club. And this squad is starting to expand and look good. Maybe a concern in a day since that there's not been another offer for anyone to come and join the club, but at the moment, we've got to look at this and say, bar maybe Rafferty Pedder going in centre midfield, this is probably the strongest squad we've ever had. I'm really pleased with the depth we've got. Ollie Ewing, Archie Thomas, Kobe Brooks all still staying on non-contract terms. And at the moment, we look like we're ready not just for a playoff push, but maybe even for a promotion push as well, because the top 7 should be a minimum objective with the squad we've got. It's whether someone runs away with the league or whether we can keep on their tails for the rest of this year. So let's go and get into this game via the schedule to see what's been going on. Because since you were last with me, we have had 4 matches, including 3 more wins and unfortunately our first defeat. You can see all the wins by a goal or 2. Nothing spectacular, nothing stunning, and even the defeat was a pretty narrow one. So you were with me for losing Hungerford. We then beat Eastbourne by 3-1. Yassin Toure, Alfie Lloyd and an own goal gave us a 3-goal lead there. Against Tonbridge we won by 2-0. Another own goal and a late Alfie Lloyd second to shore things up. A 2-1 defeat at Dartford. Yassin Toure scored again, but it wasn't enough. And then a 1-0 win at home to Torquay. Etaluku on a stroke of half-time, but it's Saturday, Monday for the fixtures. And I'm afraid we are not going to be fully fit today. So let's go and get through to the first of the fixtures. Worthing away from home, doing better than Torquay of the relegated sides. Both of them disappointing. Both of them were expected to be favourites alongside us, according to the media. Well, they've misjudged that, haven't they? Havant were up in the playoffs last year. They're running away with it at the moment. You've got the likes of Dartford up there again. And there's a few that are pushing up the league as well. Weymouth doing really well. So let's get through to the meeting. Let's see how many of our team are fit. I think the answer is not many. Only 2, in fact. So let's go and start from scratch. We'll pick this team. We'll be back in a minute to run through the 11. And here we go. I'm working on the premise today that both sides played Saturday and now Monday, and that if we've got the better squad depth and can rotate a bit, and maybe put out a near fully fit side, we will have the advantage. So I've dropped out Kamari Grant and Richard Bryan from the squad entirely. DeRose, Etaluku, Beecroft and Alfie Lloyd dropped to the bench. Into the team come loads of players. Torre, Ewing and Woodthorpe, the only three who aren't quite fully fit, but I still think are good enough for today. And then there's 5 days off, so we might be all right. It means the 11 in full is Josh Keeley in goal. A right back is Stevenson with Woodthorpe on the left. Cocoraccio joined by new signing Lewis Herbert as centre half. Wadham, Ewing and Archie Thomas the midfield 3. Grego Cox, Torre and Deakin the front 3. So let's go and get into it against Worthing away. In other circumstances, we'd be underdogs here. But we're going to try and play on the counter as we do away from home. And hopefully it'll be another 3 points as we continue to go on a roll. Well then, 3 changes made for the hosts. I'm just seeing if they've got any big familiar names in there. There are a few good players in fairness to them, but it's not one of those that jumps out and you're immediately frightened. But maybe that's why they've been successful. They've been a team rather than a bunch of individuals. Let's ask the lads to impress us. So we're going to tweak the set pieces because we've got a new 6'5" centre half. And we'll be back in a minute for the first half of this game, and fingers crossed, a positive result. Well, this has been a very quiet start to the game. 16 minutes, barely a highlight, and some danger at the back there. That is such a poor goal to concede. Bobbling around all over the place. Herbert probably at fault. Are we at fault as well? Because the communication lines at the back, it's a team that have never played together before. And unfortunately, it's cost us early doors. We've got big players. We need to create ourselves. And at the moment, we're not doing that as Mooney puts the corner in. To the back post, Moulton's won another one. What on earth is the point of these big players if they can't jump for a header? It's been a really poor display. We need to show more. So let's go and demand a bit more here. Because Robinson gets it to Cocoraccio, who clears downfield. Deakin loses the header. We're second to everything. Why is it this poor? Mooney gets the ball back again. Husin finds Pollock. We're going to be 2 down if we're not careful. We've gifted them one hell of a head start. And we don't deserve anything as it stands. As Kwamina goes back into Husin. Good football again. A lovely through ball to Mooney. Keeley does well. Do you know what? Scrap the going cautious. We are going to go positive because there's no point just sitting back. As the long ball finds Grego Cox. Might get an equaliser from nothing. Into the box he goes. Good save by the keeper. Let's go positive. Let's chase the game. 26 gone. We've barely had a kick. As it's a corner for Ewing at the left-hand side. To the back post. In swinger. Deakin's header straight at the goalkeeper. It's the first chance we've seen on camera, but let's be honest, it is not a good performance. As a long ball towards Duffus, won by Stevenson. He clears long towards Grego Cox. Ewing can't get there. Kwamina goes long, and every long ball looks a danger at the minute. Keeley holds this one up. He's got 4 at the back. He can just roll out, but instead looks for that big kick again towards Deakin. Not quite got the Alfie Lloyd presence, though Cocoraccio through ball. It's again poor. This is such a disappointing display, and we've seen a minute of action here with next to nothing happening. It finally peters out. I don't know what part of that was a key highlight. I'm going to cut Torre in off the left because he's having no impact as a winger, and let's just hope it makes a difference. Half an hour gone, it's been a terrible display, and Torquay looks like they found some form at last. I just want to go and see if we can. How fit are this Worthing team? Because, look, they're absolutely out on their feet. And we're barely laying a glove on them. It's a really frustrating performance. Let's get through the dressing room. I'm going to say I'm disappointed. There's some players anxious. There's some frustration. I don't really know why. Get out there, put a bit of effort in, and let's see if we can get a win. We're back just before the hour mark with Woodthorpe just hoofing a ball downfield at the moment. Comes out to Torre on halfway. Big ball towards Deakin is overhit, but Grego Cox makes something of it. To the byline he goes. Crosses blocked again. It's so poor. The final product here has been disgraceful, and this has been our worst performance of the season. What a time for it. I know we lost at Dartford, but we were in that game. Here we've looked second best. That's awful defending. Oh, Herbert. Come on, son, you're better than this. You're the best defender at the club. What on earth is wrong with you? We've got tired legs elsewhere. Do we take the best players off? Do we rotate? I just don't know. Ewing heads the ball away to the edge of the box. Thomas gets up again, but we're not making anything of it. Mooney back to Robinson. Ewing heads clear. Where on earth is the composure? Get your foot on the ball. It's panic stations back there again. Grego Cox hoofs clear. It's awful. We've got half an hour to go. Let's go and make some changes. We've got to do something. Deakin off. Alfie Lloyd on. We've got to go for the big gun. DeRose can come on in midfield for the anxious Thomas. And then at the back, I'm tempted to take Herbert off, but I think we might have to go Cocoraccio, who's knackered. He will be replaced by Boyd Beecroft. We're going to leave them like that for now. I don't know which side people are better. They're both right-footed. So let's just go and get into it. Half an hour to go. We've gone positive. We're chasing a game. But at the moment, we don't look like scoring. And here are Worthing again with a throw at left back. Grego Cox tries to make something of it. It does fall for him second time. Back to Beecroft and now Stevenson. Chance to play over the top. Grego Cox is in. Lloyd's with him. You've got to pass. He does pass. Really sensible play that. Grego Cox lays in Alfie Lloyd. And this is where we have to take advantage. They're starting to tire. They've played 2 games in 3 days with largely the same team. And we are now not fully fit, but we're in better shape than them. Fresh legs in attacking areas. Let's push for the win. We're going to encourage. We've got 8 minutes to go. Come on, react. Be positive. Doesn't look like they are. We've stayed aggressive. We've tried to chase it, but I think it's going to be our first draw against a relegated side that have started all right. That's not a bad result. Given the circumstances, I'm happy. The performance, though, that's given me a little bit less pleasure. Let's go and get through to the game on Saturday. 5 days off for most of these lot. And hopefully we'll be able to bounce back with what would be a much more recognisable display. Well, we're back just a day later because Mansfield, it seems, are being raided again. Their flavour of the month for our director of football because right back Taylor Anderson is the next one he's offering for. Now, this seems a little bit odd because in Stevenson and in Bryan, we've got 2 natural right backs. So I'm hoping he might be able to play elsewhere. Maybe on the left would be a start. We haven't got a backup there. Let's see what he's rated like. Anderson is right back and centre half, 3.5 star ability. To be fair, he's probably better than the ones we've got. But either way, it's a bit of a nonsensical one. I don't know why that's where the money's being spent. Has played for them, played for Dulwich Hamlet the year before they got promoted as well. So he has got experience at this level and he's played well there before. Overall, we can't complain. Just doesn't quite make sense, that one.
Let's get cracking.
Well, back for another big game and we look to keep the unbeaten run going as we play second place Weymouth. If we beat them, we'll be above them at the end of this episode. It's a big chance for us at home. We'll go and see who's fit in a minute, but first, transfer news on 2 fronts. You can see one of them on the screen now, but let's go down a bit first because McNulty rejected the move away. So our best youth player of last year, albeit not great, is still at the club, which is nice. Yesterday, though, the move for Taylor Anderson went through. £475 a week, 3.5 star ability. He looks a really good player. So to be fair, we've got a new best right back at the club. We have got more options than ever in defence. Whether he comes straight back in today, I don't know. We've got another game in midweek, so I might just try and balance it a tad. But either way, really pleased. We are building a strong squad. I'd like one more centre midfielder. But otherwise, we're ready for a top 7 push. You consider how we started last season. We were in the bottom half after 8 or 9 games. For where we are now, if we can gel this squad together, if we can continue to improve, then maybe we're going to be formidable later in the year. Let's go and get through the team selection. Everyone's fully fit. So I'm going to adjust the 11 back to full strength and back in a minute to run through it. Well, this is the team for today, and I'm trying to stick to full strength where possible and the best players and trying to get them settled in. The only exception to that really is Anderson, who's just come in and isn't match fit. He'll be on the bench for this one. The rest of the team, though, is fairly familiar. Josh Keeley keeps his place in goal. He's had a great start to the year. Bryan and Woodthorpe, the fullbacks, with Grant alongside Herbert as centre-half. Wadham, Ewan and DeRose, the midfield 3. Torre and Etaluku, the wingers. And then up front, Alfie Lloyd. Etaluku has done okay this season. Torre's been a great threat off the right. And Grego Cox had a good game last time. So there's strength in depth. There's quality off the bench. For the first time, we've got quality outside the bench as well. Stevenson and Cocoraccio can't even make the squad. So let's go and get into this. A top of the table clash early doors. And if we win it, we could be up to second place. Well, here we go. 4 changes for the side that are visiting today. It's a good team that they've got, Weymouth. Aaron Simpson, a fullback we had in a Hemel save last year. Terrell Whittaker, a legend of our Dawkins save in FM20. I mean, there's so many good players about. It is a side you'd expect to be near the top, and so far it is. Archie Brown, I'm pretty sure, was at Derby, if it's the same one I'm thinking of. So let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. Let's get more of them motivated. We're at home. We're positive from the very start. Let's see if it works out. Well, it has been an incredibly quiet first 25 minutes as we've got one hell of a kick clash here. White and black versus white, but it doesn't matter for now. Ollie Ewing has just curled a perler of a free kick into the top corner. It was right on the edge of the box, had a lot of work to do to get it up and down. So as a result, he just went round instead. 1-0 up, half an hour gone. Things looking pretty good at the minute, as Cullinan's got it at the back for the visitors. Long ball forward. Oh, that's terrible defending. What on earth is going on there? Keeley saves the day. I don't understand it with Herbert. He's so good technically. Is he going to be one of those players that's just rated well and plays awfully? Cocoraccio much the opposite, as Chapman has got a corner kick. We're letting them back in the game here. Header away from DeRose, does really well. Adjei picks it up on the right-hand side. It's a good ball in. He's completely unmarked. Where's the defence? I don't understand it. So poor at the minute. First goal for the club so often happens against us. And we're 10 to the break. It's 1-1. We've been the better side, but we've gifted opportunities as Ewing. Corner at the other end to the back post. Doesn't quite reach its target. DeRose recycles though. Is he going to give it away? Looks so briefly, but he keeps it in. Brian up to Ewing, who loses out in the air. And now they can counter Weymouth. They're just blitzing past people. I don't know where the pressure is. In the end, DeRose gets a foot in. But Brown's down the left to Jones. It is all Weymouth at the minute on the counter. Great ball in. Easy finish. Herbert's lost his man again. I don't get it. I do not get it. He comes in as the best centre-half at the club. His marking's all right. His pace, his strength is fine. It can't just be the positioning. But I think I'm going to have to drop him out. Beecroft might be the man to come in because it's costing us too many goals. It really is. 5 to the break. We've dominated the match, but on the counter, we've let them in a couple of times and it's 2-1 Weymouth. Can we salvage a draw by the break though? Herbert up at the back post heads over. If he's not even going to contribute at that end, we're going to have a very poor season. 2 minutes added on. Hayton's got the goal kick. I just can't believe we've thrown this away. He goes long downfield towards Gaspar. Up goes Herbert. He wins a header, but it's straight to Chapman. Jones down the left wing he goes. Into the box. Shots blocked. And Keeley will deal with that easily. Get on the front foot. Show what you're made of. They don't. At half time, it's somehow 2-1. I don't know what to say. Let's point the finger. Prove a point. And you know what? I'm going to take him off now. Herbert off for Beecroft as centre-half. I could well play Taylor Anderson there. He's got the opportunity. He's got the ability. But it's not going to happen just yet. Beecroft on for Herbert. They're like for like. And if he does well, we'll stick with that partnership. Well, an hour gone, we've had no reaction. I mean, if you look at the stats, it suggests we're playing well, but there's nothing to suggest we're going to get back into this. So I'm going to make some bold changes. Yassin Toure off. He will be replaced by Grego Cox. And then at right back, I'm going to make the debutant come in. Taylor Anderson is a better player. So let's just make sure the fullbacks don't concede. Let the attacking stars go and do their job. We've got 25 minutes to go. We're positive. We're playing well. But we've got nothing to show. And it's going to be one of those games where I'm left wondering how we've lost it and how we're not on top. As the long ball through finds Adjei. Beecroft does well, to be fair. Terrell Whittaker gets it away. But Beecroft's rated poorly here. It's definitely not the solution at the minute. As Lloyd gets it on the left. Cuts inside to Ewing. He's played really well. Goes for the shot. It's just wide of the post. He's trying to make it happen on his own here. What I don't understand, as I demand more, is how Cocoraccio, who's half the player, got half the physical and technical attributes, is playing better than two very good centre-halves, as Grant heads the ball away. I've looked at the stuff behind the scenes. There's no difference really in the big matches in the mentality. It's just one of those oddballs, as Keeley picks it up. Maybe it'll change when the lads are settled in. But for now, it's a bit perplexing as Etaluku does well to beat Simpson. Big height advantage there. Gets to the byline, crosses for Lloyd, loses out to the air. Grego Cox gets it again. Anderson on the right. Lost out to the defender, not the air. As it's a penalty kick on Anderson, he's made a big impact there. And Alfie Lloyd has the chance to equalise. Barely had a kick, had no service. But to be fair, the new right back has created a chance. And now Alfie Lloyd from the spot scores, sends the keeper the wrong way. It's 2-2, we're back on terms, and with 5 to go, let's try and get a winner. But equally, 2 draws not a bad result from this episode. They were on the front foot immediately. Ollie Ewing with a free kick to the back post, it's just overhit. DeRose can't get there. Hewitt brings it away, and this is the counter we're so susceptible to. For some reason, our players are frightened of closing down, or even running in the general direction of their players. Adjei gets in, he puts it over. We're so open on the counter. It's scandalous, really. There's 4 minutes added on. It's going to be a draw. look, against the relegated side and a promotion contender, that's not a bad result. What annoys me is we should have won that game. Defensively, we're a little all over the place, but going forward, we've still got a threat. Let's get through the dressing room. We'll tell the lads we're all right. We got a result. We want to build the confidence. There's a lot of new players still settling in here, and there's a lot of young players joining on loan. But if there's a positive, Beecroft did okay second half. Taylor Anderson was very good off the bench. So let's go and look at the schedule for when we're next going to be back and see where this result leaves us in the National League South table. Well, this, to be fair, is a tricky month for fixtures coming up. We've got Oxford City next, who were in that playoff mix. Havant are the league leaders. We've got them at the end of the month and an FA Cup tie too. But I think we're going to look at October time because Slough are the side that the fans always want us to finish above. And at the moment, they're up there in 4th place, just above us. And then we've also got Dover, our former head coach club from last year's game that was so successful. And they're on the outside of that playoff mix. They're doing okay at the minute. So looking at the table, we're 5 off the top. We're competitive. We're in the mix. And compared to last year, we're placed in a better position. So if we can have the same second half of the season when everyone's settled in, we might well be title contenders. Let me know what you think down in the comments though. Some frustration at the back. Let me know if you've got an answer to our centre half questions. And if you did enjoy it, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe for daily FM23 content. We had a cracking episode in our Builder Nation yesterday. You can find that one up in the eye above, as well as the Twitch channel where we're live every day and so much more. But I'll put that video from yesterday above my head now. You can catch up with that series again tomorrow at 3:30. And I'll see you back here in a couple of days' time for more big league clashes with Maidenhead.